Good afternoon, super friends, and welcome to the Friday, December 12th edition of the Sacred News and Weather. I'm coming to you live from another very gray and very cold December day here in Northern California. This is not normal for this time of year, and I'm a little over the gray. It feels a little more East Coast than West right now, but that is okay. I am delighted to be here with you today, and just want you to know that I keep trying to come in here on my off days. I have been doing the meditations to deliver the messages, and then been surprised in the best way by house guests showing up, bringing dinner, and my daughter's BFF's family coming in for a visit and saying hello and having dinner. So it's just that time of year where, and I have that kind of house where people roll in and visit and stay, and I'm grateful for that. And I'm also sorry that I'm not getting in here, but I will. Because there's I just have this feeling of, but wait, there's more, but wait, there's more. There's so much I want to be sharing with all of you. And I just haven't been able to get here. Part of it is, again, that I feel compelled to come on video, whereas if I could just record a voice message and publish it, I would absolutely get in here more often. But the reality is, none of you actually listen to me when I am doing just voice messages. So it's almost like I shouldn't even bother. So I haven't yet, but we'll see what I can figure out for us so that I can get in here a little more frequently. In the meantime, I am going to deliver today's message, which started with the image of the Ouroboros. For those of you who are not familiar, an Ouroboros is a snake eating its own tail. It's that cyclical, where did that come from? Making up words this morning. Okay. Cyclical representation of cycles of death and rebirth, of creator destroyer energy, that beautiful symbol of eternal motion, beginnings and endings all in one. And so before I begin in earnest, just please take what resonates, leave the rest behind, and know that these messages are timeless. So whether you're tuning in real time or catching me down the line somewheres, if you're tuning in, there's something likely here for you. If you are not finding yourself, turn me off. There are many more below, and there will be many more to come. Okay. And I can feel my nose wanting to run, and I'm not going to let it. I'm just going to keep talking and hope and hope for the best. All right. So that Ouroboros this morning, circles of death and rebirth, of creator destroyer energy. But the flavor, and of course, it's very timely with Wednesday's message around the year of the snake and where we are in the world. And it felt like more of that year of the snake energy, but it felt like a new thread of energy to be examined. And I love the Ouroboros because I feel like it represents this line of work, my line of work, like so spectacularly and so clearly, because we are literally moment by moment dying off and being reborn with each choice we make, with each breath we take. It's a new moment. It's a chance to begin anew. It's a chance to do something different. It's a chance to allow yourself to grow and expand into the being you were always designed to be. It's a chance to remember who you truly are. It's a chance to release what was and step into something new. And it just has that vibration of not being stuck on a loop, but being born again and choosing again over and over and over again. And remember, snakes are shedding their skin, and each time they are shedding their skin, it's because they are expanding. And so there's this very expansive feeling with this Ouroboros imagery, where we were not just moving on the same path, but with each spin of the wheel, there's Wheel of Fortune energy here. Also, fortune turning in our favor, just really beautiful, expansive cycles ready to begin, and the old way dying off. But the way that it was coming in for me was very much that, but also there was this other flavor. And this came through for us during our retreat also. And I want to bring it forward here. It also came up in meditation for me this morning on a personal level, and even in conversation last night with a dear one. And so this feeling of power and our understanding of power and our culture's misunderstanding of power as lording over another or lording over the planet, or this feeling of being more than um anyone else or any other being or thing, this feeling of like too big for our britches, of lording over the earth rather than acting in this brilliant cycle of life, in this loop of we are all connected, and my power is your power, and your power is my power, and my power is your power. That was a little bit of the flavor that was coming through with this imagery as well, that I would like to bring forward here today, because we sometimes get scared of claiming our own power because we're afraid of becoming that being that lords over another or lords over the planet. We're afraid of that overlord feeling that dwells within us. We all have everything, right? So it is entirely possible for us all to become evil overlords of the planets. But it is also equally as possible for all of us to recognize that true power is not this, and that the image that I'm getting and the feeling that I have in my body, I keep wanting to do this, like I am going, like almost like the boogeyman coming out of a closet, or something like this like evil creature coming to shadow creature coming to swallow you. That's the feeling of the overlord. That's the overlord vibe that I'm going with here. um it's not that. It is not, that is not true power, but that is the feeling in our bodies that we are that incite just enough fear for us to either retract all of our power or really expand into that overlord. So you might see yourself in as one thread of energy or the other, where you might find yourself worried about stepping into that kind of power, therefore you keep yourself small. Or you might like willingly step into that power, or may have willingly stepped into that power and recognize that it is not actually true power, and therefore it's caused some sort of retraction in your body, in your being, that now wants to keep you small. Or you are feeding that toxic cycle of believing you are actually in true power when you have control over someone. So I guess there are three threads of energy here. When you actually have control, or you believe you have control over another person or another group of people or the planet, if you are one of those people who believes that this is true power, then you are also being invited into the essence of that Ouroboros and that cyclical and we are all connected feeling that was coming through with this imagery today. What I want to bring forward with that particular imagery is this feeling of true power being not this overlord power, but this much softer, much gentler holding of safety and unconditional love. This feeling that if I can offer my unconditional love out into the world, it can then free another to feel safe enough to offer their unconditional love. And it's in that unconditional love, in that feeling of no matter how I show up, no matter what I do, no matter what I judge as good or bad about myself, no matter what, I am loved and held simply because I exist. And in holding ourselves that way, we permit another or groups of others to actually look and see and hold themselves that way. And it's there that that cycle of true power begins to generate through all of us, because there is this unconditional love moving through that Ouroboros, moving through that wheel of fortune, moving through the collective, moving through your people, moving through your body and your being out into the world and allowing the world to receive it and take it in. And that, I feel, is what true power is. But we've just gotten so far away from even knowing what that feeling feels like in our bodies, because we tend to be the harshest critics of ourselves, right? Like, we judge every mistake, every quote unquote mistake that we make. We judge every action. On Monday, I was talking about our bodies and the way we look at ourselves in the mirror and like want to belittle ourselves rather than uplift ourselves. We feed that cycle of not love in our own systems. And so and therefore, when we're feeding the not love in our systems, it moves from us as not love toward another. And that other feels that not love, and we are cycling that kind of energy between us. And we're being invited to remember our true power as that power of unconditional love. We're being invited to soften into the knowingness that we are inherently worthy of love simply because we exist in the world as perfectly imperfect humans that we were designed to be. And while we are always, hopefully, working toward healing and expansion, where we are in this moment in time is exactly where we're meant to be, and we are exactly perfect just as we are. And we can always make a little more room for more love to come in, and more love to pour forth, and more love to come in, and more love to pour forth. And we're being invited to do so today by really, again, loving up on yourself unconditionally, and maybe even trying to move out in the world with the lens of unconditional love for another. I like to bring this assignment to my groups, where I invite them to just walk through the world, walking down the street, walking into the coffee shop, walking into a restaurant, just really offering themselves and everyone around them unconditional love in whatever that looks like for you. So, often it's like that, just that smile, like a smile and a bright-eyed connectivity that says, I see you. I see you. You don't even have to say anything. It's that frequency of, hi, wonderful human. Thank you for serving me coffee. Hi, wonderful human. Thank you for bagging my groceries. Just holding that frequency of, aren't you wonderful simply because you're here? And seeing how that shifts in your body, your own love of self, and seeing how it shifts the energy of everyone around you. And it's in that softening, in that, like, I see you and you are worthy and you are wonderful frequency, that everything just opens and softens just a little bit more. And as everything opens and softens, you can feel your own energy expanding. You can feel yourself leaning back, and just this deeper level of satisfaction in your bones, which again pours forth from you as you move through the world. I feel like there's something else that wants to come through here. Let me see if I can find it. And I'm really trying hard not to sniff. There's this feeling of, I'm going to itch my nose instead. How about that? I'm just going to itch it. Scratch it, but you know what I mean. There's, I'm just getting an image. I'm getting an image of like grounding yourself. I'm seeing, so I'll tell you, I'm seeing obsidian, but I was talking about obsidian with a friend last night. So that's probably why it's coming forward. And there's probably something related to that conversation that wants to come through here. But what's coming through is I'm hearing the words anchor to fly, ground yourself in order to leap. And so I feel like it's related to grounding ourselves in that frequency of unconditional love, like allowing yourself to really be rooted in the truth that you are inherently worthy to give and receive love, and really allowing yourself to anchor into that frequency. Because when we move into the energy of no longer the Ouroboros, well, I mean, that will go through. That's sort of an eternal cyclical adventure. But as we move from the year of the snake into the year of the fire horse, the feeling is the anchoring in this unconditional love of self and other right now is the very thing that will help propel us forward into where we are moving to next. So I think that is the obsidian that I'm getting, and the feeling of like really take this time, use this time now in this slower year of the snake frequency to really ground yourself also in the energy of winter. Winter is the element of water, but it's the depths of the water. It's the frozen water. It's your reflection, and it's going into the depths. So there's something there as well, which is why it's coming forward, grounding yourself in the frequency of unconditional love, and then moving into those depths to see what's there. And from there, recognizing, okay, I can love what's here at the depths, no matter how beautiful or no matter how messy I'm judging it to be. I can love it because it is what is. And in loving it, that frozen depth of water begins to just stir a little bit. And this is what it is. This came through in the Unlikely Biblical Book Club yesterday, the idea of stagnant water versus turbulent water. It turns that frozen stagnant energy into flow. It starts moving the water, allowing the old things to move through you. And it's the grounding, it's the stirring of the water, the stirring of emotions, the flow that begins to be generated, which will then allow you to move forward in that fire horse energy come February. So I think that's what wanted to come through. Just going to be quiet for a minute to see if there's anything else. But I think that's it. I think we are complete. I love you all so, so much. Thank you for being here. Please like and share and subscribe and comment below. The more you interact with me, the more the YouTube say, hey, come look at her. And I would really like people to see what I'm doing out here, to hear what I'm doing. And I'm not going to tell you that I'm going to come in this weekend because I don't want to promise what I cannot keep. So we will see if I get here this weekend, but if not, I will definitely be here on Monday. All right. I love you all. Have a beautiful weekend. Bye bye.